Hi, how are you? Welcome to Gold Nugget, JAW_success. This is your first time to the channel. Let me welcome you. If you have already subscribed, let me thank you for joining me on this growth path. Now, if you have not yet subscribed, come on, touch the subscription button down at the end of the screen right here. And also, put on your notification bell so that whenever I do a nugget, you will be right in the thick of things. Okay? Now, this channel is, for me, an inspiration to individuals to grow, individuals to spend the time to perfect what they set out to do. Now, many times as individuals, we have dreams. We want to become things, but we feel to push ourselves and to press to go for it. And as a result of that, we lose sight of who we are or who we should become. Okay? Now, as a part of this channel and as a part of me trying to help you to be motivated in going after your dream, it doesn't matter who or what that dream is or who or what stands in your way to get that dream. I'm saying to you, press forward to it. Years ago, I wrote this book. We want you to fly what your parents are really trying to say. And when I got the copies and sent them out to individuals for publication, for promotions, and some of those stuff, some of these individuals did not even respond. And I understand why they didn't respond, because they are individuals who they will not promote your stuff unless it comes from somebody of repertoire. It will, if it not come from an official book publisher, or it doesn't come from somebody with a particular name, then you won't get the promotion. Or I sent it to some individual, and because I must admit there are things in this book that will offend some people, because guess what, there are things that I say in this book that is of my conviction, my belief. And yes, it in a book that speaks to young people and talk about, we want you to fly and their kind of stuff. Persons must realize that, yeah, you can't really separate the author from his or her conviction, especially if you're writing something for real life. It's easy to write a book with fiction, or to write a book story and separate the author from that, right? But when it comes on to giving life instructions and giving instruction for people to grow and to become who they are supposed to become, you can't separate the author from his or her convictions or belief. So there are stuff in the book that, was said that individuals are not in keeping with. And because they're not in keeping with, they give the book a negative review. I'm not saying the book is the best and the most perfectly written book, but I challenge you to go and get your copy and read it and get back to me, because this is one of these reasons why this channel is up. It's for improvement, it's for listening to the critics, it's for hearing person's opinion and making adjustment and change. As I said, in going forward, that one of the main aim of this channel is so that individuals will grow. And that's why I keep saying thank you for joining me on this growth path, because it's a growth path. It shows that we're not perfect. It shows that we're not at the level that we're supposed to be, but we continue to grow, we continue to improve. There is a nugget that I wrote on my blog, www.jaw-success.co.uk, and it simply says put distance between your past and your future by working assiduously in the present. And some of us, we are not perfect, but if we continue to improve, if we continue to grow, then we will become the kind of individual that we are supposed to become. And I will say this in pointing out to one of the reasons that I wrote this book. It's because I wanted to say to my niece, my son, my daughters and whoever else's child that is out there. I want you to improve upon the legacy that we have created. I personally remember that there were times in the past when we didn't have running water in our house, right? We had to get up and go to the tank about 1 mile away from the house to take back water on our heads to carry to fill buckets and drums at home. We never had a good flushing toilet. We had a pit toilet, and that's what we used. But the transition is that now I have grown and I'm able to provide running water in the house for my son and my daughters and my children, right? And I am also able to make sure that there is no pit toilet. For those who don't know what's a pit toilet, it's a toilet that it's just a hole dug in the ground with a little thing over it, and you sit on it, and that's how you use for your excretions, right? And I make sure that that is not the case. Now, what do I expect from my son, from those that are called my daughters? What do I expect from them? I expect them to be better than me. And so, as a part of this channel continuing to grow, I'm reading from something that I have written that I want persons to go out and get and be the judge. So I'm going to read from this little portion of this part. And it basically says, I'm reading from the Nest. I read a part of it in one earlier nugget, and I'm now going to read another part of it. We are not expecting you to be a mature adult at 13 or 19 for that matter. But we expect you to know that the older you get is the more responsible you will be getting and the more rigorous it will become. Life will not treat you any better. Therefore, brace your back, straighten your shoulder, and put your hands to the plow. For the journey is long, and the road from teenager to adulthood is treacherous. However, do not fear, for there are institutions along the way that governs the majority of the rules you will play in the future. So if you pay attention, the journey will not seem too long, and time will not pass as though you are taking a small repose. Just remember, though, that the way of the transgressor is hard, and the stubborn and stiff-necked will not survive, or they will end up in ditch or shacks in some back alley wondering, where did I went wrong? Aunt Vi would put it this way: willing picnic or a child felt easy, but unwilling picnic end up with piles because their excrement is hard. And when I really got on her nerve, she would say, hard is picnic, bite rock stone. Over the years of being under our tutelage, you will get to see us, if not us others, around you operating in some specific roles. These I will regard as formidable institutions, and rightfully so, because of their criticality to smooth operation and well-being of the society. The problem with these institutions is that most of the information that one need to know or to have in order to function effectively in them is learned while being in them. Call it on-the-job training if you please. They are the only high-profile jobs in life you will not go to school to learn about. There is no 5-year part-time or full-time degree on how to raise children, or master's degree on how to deal with a wife or a husband who cheats. Yet still we fall of no company, being Enron, Exxon, or Fannie and Freddie cause more devastation in society, like the fall of a marriage or a bad parenting. Therefore, without these institutions, the moral fiber of society unravels, and the home is overarching place where the institutions are either strengthened or destroyed. The institution of forming our boundaries within which we will operate as adults are the positions of husbands, wives, fathers, mother, employee or employer, and finally, worshipper. Each of these role in and of itself comes with varying degrees of responsibilities. And unless you decide to live celibate or in a place of seclusion, you will more or less be wearing one or more of these hats. Then again, if you plan to live alone, you will still be wearing one or more of these titles. They cannot be avoided, and hence this is where you can be tripped up the issue of budget, competing priorities, and time management, just to name a few. So in order to manage, you will have to learn from now how to exist within the boundaries of home, work, church, vacation, and wherever else you will be your radius of operation. And this takes cooperation and a willingness to submit to authority. To see how quickly life can become a big mess, let's look at the principles behind each of these institutions. I don't want to make this nugget any longer, but you can go and get the book. We want you to fly, what your parents are really trying to say. And I want to say to individuals, it's continuous growth. It's continuous moving from one level to the next. It's not being satisfied at the same place. So as you seek to grow, as you seek to guide, as you seek to instruct, let me say this and then stop. The running of the home is on the basis that bills must be paid, food and clothing must be bought, and each member cared for by meeting their emotional, physical, psychological, or spiritual needs. In order for this to happen though, each individual must play their part. Who is responsible to do the laundry must do the laundry, and who is responsible for the cooking and tidying up of the house yet must be in their place, and the list of do's are who does, should not, goes on and on. It will not get done by itself. Somebody will have to do it, and somebody must do it before insects draw the occupants of the home away. The running of the home takes money. To do all the feeding, clothing, and repairs must come from somewhere to do it. It can, I tell you, where? It comes from our blood, sweat, and tears, because have to decide not to rob or steal. The institution of the home, you should be mother, father, or both single parent with one or more kids to feed, clothe, or shelter, and you could also be the only one working. What will you do then? You sure you can run under a rock? If you can't manage the simple things we are giving you to do now, how are you going to manage later when these realities are your reality? So this is JAW saying to you, by all means necessary, create a way out. But we can't create a way out without good foundation. I said it to somebody the other day, and I will repeat it on this nugget. Life comes with peaks and troughs, but while we can't live on the peaks, we certainly cannot dwell in the troughs. So we have to keep moving. And this is one of the things that I want to point out in this book, that young people without firm or good foundation will fail. And a lot of us as adults, we never got that kind of teaching. We never got that kind of foundation. And because we never got that kind of teaching or foundation, we have been failing. But hopefully this channel, with the nuggets that I'm putting out, we will not continue to fail. We will continue to build from where we are, because that's one of the things that is covered in this book. Growing from where you are, because there is no do-over, but there is a continuance from where we are. So go get the book. It's on Amazon. It's just Google it. We want you to fly, what your parents are really trying to say, Junior Watson, and get it, because it's out there for reading. All right, God bless you. Bye.